Life, as beautiful as it is, can bring about a whirlwind of emotions and events that can leave us feeling broken and unworthy. Society teaches us that success equals happiness, that possessions and achievements are the equivalent to our own self worth. Self criticism is seen as a motivator for us to push forward and so called succeed in life. This, as a result, has made it beyond easy or even automatic for us to fall into the grip of shame. There's nothing that can greatly undermine humans' well being than this. Shame is an extremely difficult emotion because, first, we tend to take it as a given, no questions asked, and second, it leads to the feeling of unworthiness, causing us to deny love for ourselves and for others. So, what is the answer to this? What are the steps that we can take in order to free ourselves from this destructive inner voice? Is it true that shame is part of our identity? If the answer is yes, then were we born ashamed? Do babies feel shame for their facial appearances, for simply being born? Or is it something that's been taught? In the book Overcoming the Destructive Inner Voice by Dr. Robert Firestone, he recounted a case where he was helping a patient to get to the root of her nagging inner critic that was berating her and sabotaging her life. By using voice therapy, which is simply saying out loud whatever the voice was telling her, they soon realized that voice sounded a lot like her mom's. The reason why I'm saying this is because most of the times, shame is the voice left by the people in our past that we have internalized and blended with our own. You are worthless. You disgust me. The world is better off without you. Shame is truly the enemy of a good life because it makes us want to distance ourselves from other people for fear of being seen. When we feel ashamed, we are unable to face the ones we love, never mind ourselves. It can potentially make us resort to other addictive and destructive behaviors to distract ourselves and then feel even more ashamed for whatever it is that we've done. So, how do we go to the end of this tunnel and see the light? Anyone who's experienced shame knows how challenging and uncomfortable it is to face, admit, and recognize because we believe that we deserve it, that we are uniquely flawed. That is no more than an illusion in and of itself, a story that we tell ourselves because it's a story that we're most familiar with. The truth is, we are flawed, and so is everyone else. Anyone who's ever walked this earth is mad, crazy, weird, broken. We just don't see it because we like to treat that part as humiliating stories that we wish were fiction. Instead of comparing ourselves to what we think a good person should be, it's much better to accept that we, as a group, are far from perfect. And if everyone is weird and abnormal, is it such a bad thing that we are weird and abnormal? Instead of judging and crucifying ourselves for being human, how about we just have some giggles and laughs about the craziness that is life over some coffee? As we begin to heal and free ourselves from this feeling of shame, it's important to acknowledge the fact that as much as we want to bury it deep inside, shame, just like other emotions, can be a wise teacher with a lot of valuable lessons to be learned if we shift our relationship with it. When we see ourselves in a mirror and start to feel a sense of judgment or unworthiness, it wouldn't hurt to try looking at our reflection with more warmth and gentleness, the kind of acceptance that we would offer to those that we love. And as we learn to respond with this feeling of shame with more kindness, it will become much easier for us to get to know it and soften it. We've all been through howling winds and ferocious storms, and yet we're still here. It only makes sense to pay respect to our courage and strength by treating our wounds with more kindness, compassion, and gentleness. Be gentle to yourself. For some people, it may seem like giving in to failures, but if we look closely enough, we'll see the opposite. Only by filling our own glass will we be able to give to others. The joy of living is giving, and we cannot give what we do not have. I hope this video has served you in some ways, and if you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear your stories. Are you incorporating gentleness in your everyday life? What's the old story that you torture yourself with? And what is the new one? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.